What's up, guys? Before we jump into the video today, I want to let you know that my code ESPRESSO is 30% off your entire order over at gfuel.com. Whether you want to restock on a tub or two or just try out a sample pack or maybe the new cans releasing, you can get an increased discount until the 14th. Check the link in the description below if you're interested, but now back to the regular scheduled content. Season 3 for Modern Warfare and Warzone started yesterday, and along with it came a host of new items such as maps, weapons, operators, new battle pass, officer challenges, and the like. But the one thing that happens seasonally now is a rank reset, meaning that you won't be the same rank that you were as of 2 days ago and when you jumped in the game first time after Season 3. Today we're going to be discussing the secrets to ranking up fast, the best possible ways to maximize your XP for both your officer rank and as well your battle pass progression in some capacity. So that said, as we go along, let me know your thoughts down below. Firstly, how you enjoying Season 3 so far? Is there any item you're gunning for maybe in your battle pass? And if you have any tip you'd like to throw out down there in the comments, feel free to. As well, if you are new to the channel, do be sure to hit that subscribe button if you have not done so already, especially if you're part of that nearly 81% of viewers who are not to stay up to date with all things Modern Warfare and Warzone on a daily basis. We've got a ton of stuff coming and planned for Season 3, some of which you don't want to miss. But anyways, let's get into it. Today's video will primarily cover the game's full capacity. There, of course, will be tips for free-to-play users out there, and it certainly is possible to hit max rank in the span of this upcoming season on the free-to-play application, but the best ways to rank up come down to utilizing the entire suite of options that you have here, which for the most part includes items that are only in the full game, such as your standard MP and other gameplay ranges. The big tips, though, that I think come down to the best ways to rank up come down to trials and game modes between Warzone and MP. Though, firstly, I do want to start with trials because, truth be told, while it is something that you or I may never actually consider outside of just, say, ranking up, it is actually one of the best XP yields you can get in the shortest amount of time, and perhaps in any Call of Duty in the franchise's history, without modding or getting into one of those classic 10th prestige lobbies. But while later in the season, trials may not be one of the most worthwhile things, especially early on, they absolutely can be. While there's a whole catalog of trials, the two that I would definitely recommend come from Season 1. Both the risky parkour and shooting range have potential to grant you over 20,000 XP per trial, and that's in about a 2-minute time span, and that's including load in and load out times. If we're talking just simply in-game time, it's around 35 to 40 seconds that you can get upwards of just over 20,000 XP. Now, risky parkour sees you traverse St. Petrograd and is something that is a very viable option, but personally, I prefer the shooting range on Speedball. It really comes down to personal preference, and I think the reason that I prefer this is because I trust my aim maybe more so than my mobility, but the shooting range on Speedball just sees you simply taking out targets. This I would absolutely recommend. Firstly, popping a double XP token so that your XP yield can get upwards of that 20,000 XP end up. Run double pistols on this for mobility and the ammo capacity. I'd recommend the M19 and the X16, and then of course just go to town. The best way that I've found works for this is to simply take out all the middle targets first in a quick fire action and then just make your way around the outside, wrapping in a rotational manner. This is something that then allows you to speed run it in, again, a very short period of time. I think my average is about 30 seconds. Now, the overall output of XP is entirely dependent on the amount of tickets you have at your disposal. You should get more as you go along and rank up, so you may get a couple of times where you actually gain a trial while you're running through it, but it depends on how many you end up having saved. For example, I didn't use any in Season 0, that pre-season before the first content drop of Modern Warfare. Then it came to Season 1, I think I had like 25 or 30 saved up and able to use, thus giving me way more XP than other times when I had less. Like right now, I'm entering Season 3 using all the tokens that I earned over the course of Season 2 after doing this method at the very beginning of the season, but right now I have 17 on hand, so not as much as I had beforehand, but still a decent bit. This process, though, should get you a handsome amount of ranks in a very short period of time. I'm talking maybe 30 to 45-minute max, and depending on what rank you start at, that will depend on how many ranks you increase, because naturally the XP increments end up increasing as you rank up higher. But this is by and far the best way to rank up fast, though what's cool is it also has an inadvertent side effect. While doing this, you have the possibility of ranking up your battle pass 2 to 3 times in that 30 to 45-minute span, because the way the battle pass progression works is primarily situated around time played, yes, but XP does have a hand in that progression in moving it faster with XP clusters, meaning the more XP you gain in a short period of time progresses that battle pass faster. Since you'll likely maybe on a good day get 20,000 XP in a standard 6v6 or ground war map, that's about 10 minutes you'll end up getting that time, so it goes at roughly about a 1 tier per 60-minute pace as a sort of understood rule. But when you take 20,000 XP and condense that into 2 minutes, you'll absolutely see a difference, so it will definitely be a nice help. That said, trial tickets are finite. You don't have the opportunity to do this every single time. Trial tickets are only awarded so many times in a season because they're tethered to rank, so once you stop ranking, you stop earning tickets. But how else do you rank up really fast? A nice new introduction with Season 3 for the first time now for the entirety of the season is that of Warzone. A couple of weeks ago, we ended up seeing the new mode introduced, free to play for all users, so it does help out tremendously, and it can be an absolute asset in the best ways to rank up. Now, on average, if you regularly just play the game, you make it to top 10, top 5, or maybe even win, you'll probably get anywhere from 15,000 to 20,000 XP in that 20-minute span or whatever it takes to complete the game. But you can absolutely maximize this so long as that in-game, while you stay alive till the end, or as long as possible, you do as many contracts as you can. Each completion of a bounty contract, a recon contract, or a scavenger contract will give you an XP yield and some XP towards various items in-game, as well as giving you a cash bonus, which sets you up very nicely for the rest of the match to follow. But what's really cool is that the more that you complete these, the more the rewards compound on each other. You'll see a bonus percentage in your upper left corner of your HUD, and every time you complete a new contract and pick up another one, that increases. So the more you do, the more you earn. If you want to play a very high action paced game, you can just pick up and farm bounty contracts, picking up a contract, finding where a player is, killing them off, and then doing the same thing, repeating once you get that reward. If you want to play a little bit more passively, you can do scavenger contracts, which will task you with just simply searching crates in a general vicinity around where that contract was picked up. And also you can do recons, which will then shoot up a flare, letting players know that you're there, but it's about a quick little 20-second get in, get out sort of hard point scenario where you just sit and capture an objective. But if you really want to get a ton of yield out of this, you can do all of these and as many as possible. If you're simply going for ranking up, maybe even prioritize those over just simply getting kills and winning. But the best way to rank up is to kind of put them all into one mixed up bowl and make yourself some XP chili. For free-to-play players that want to rank up as fast as possible, make sure you take advantage of those contracts. But if Battle Royale in particular in Warzone isn't necessarily your thing, you do have the option to continue those same XP gaining traits in Plunder. What's curious though is that visually you'll often see that post-game you can earn well and above the amount of XP that you would in standard BR, but the issue is the tracking. Plunder, for whatever reason, doesn't track stats as properly as traditional MP, and even as well as BR for some reason, meaning that you could have a display of upwards of, say, 60,000 XP earned in about a 15-minute span or so for each game, but that may not track all of it. If it were tracking properly, absolutely jump in, breeze through games, and rank up a ton within that mode, but for the time being, just realize it may not track 100% accurately. Here's the hoping that the tracking issues do get sorted relatively soon, but for the time being, you can still jump in and rank up with contracts, objectives, play of gaining cash and depositing it, as well as getting those kills. That total at the end just may be a little deceiving. That said, if you don't necessarily find Warzone to be your cup of tea, of course, there is still a plenty number of other things you can do. One big one that a lot of players don't necessarily realize, but is actually on all the time in the background if you end up purchasing it, is the Battle Pass XP bonus. Anytime throughout Season 1, 2, or 3, and of course going into the future as well, anytime you buy the Premium Battle Pass and access to all 100 tiers, it gives you as well a 10% bonus increase to your XP yield across all matches that you play from there on out for the rest of the season. So while it may not be double XP, at least gives you a little extra boost, whereas you wouldn't have it if you didn't take part in just simply earning some extra items in the game. Objective game modes are absolutely fantastic as well within your standard and traditional MP experience. Whether it be 6v6, 10v10, or ground war, playing objective modes like domination, search and destroy, cyber attack, and doing all those things that can help out your team, i.e. capturing flags, reviving teammates, planting and defusing bombs, all that kind of stuff really starts to compound by just simply playing those modes. But again, you want to make sure that you're helping progress the cause of your team. That will give you the best XP yield out of all of those. Other things that are absolutely fantastic come down to things like equipment that can help out your teammates. Things like decoy grenades surprisingly give a lot of XP compared to something that you may think is relatively useless. Other things like UAVs and counter UAVs are absolutely helpful in gaining XP in the background for those assists you end up getting. They're very helpful in things like ground war, where of course you have the potential of more players getting more kills as a result of that being up. So you'll get more assists in game modes like ground war as opposed to a 6v6 map. Now the final thing that I can really say here in terms of ranking up faster is using the XP tokens that you earn, as well as taking advantage of double XP weekends. Of course, these are kind of your standard ones, but you get double XP tokens in the battle pass every so often. And if you're somebody that doesn't necessarily pay attention to when you earn them, you may be like me and have an absolute insane amount of them stacked up that you don't realize you're sitting on. So you could have an XP farm on your hand and not even realize it, so take advantage of those. And of course, when double XP weekends do roll around, make sure that you're playing during that. But ultimately, that is here the best ways to rank up in Season 3 for Modern Warfare as well as Warzone. So that's where we're going to wrap it up. Love to get your thoughts and feedback down there in the comment section down below. Is there any particular way that you really enjoy ranking up, something that you find is faster and more advantageous than others that you've found? Whatever it is, feel free to let me know your thoughts down there in the comment section down below. Hopefully you guys are enjoying Season 3 and hopefully enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure you drop a like down below. And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure you guys subscribe so you don't miss a single thing regarding all things Modern Warfare and Warzone content. We still have a ton of stuff here coming up over the next couple of days, so make sure you stick it here so you don't miss any of it. If you guys also want to follow me over on Twitter and Instagram, those are the best places to get connected with me here outside of YouTube. Practically live on both those, so if you guys want to strike up a conversation, ask me a question, whatever it may be, that link is down there in the description below. But on that out of the way, thank you guys all so much for watching. Mine has been Espresso. I'll see you guys later. Take care and peace.